This week on Fake News, we talk President Joe Biden's inauguration. Who wore what? Why was Bernie so cold? Garth Brooks versus Chris Gaines? And oh my God, is that A-Rod? We also talk about how the QAnon Storm never came and how they are dealing with it. And later on the show, we hear from a PI who is investigating a very curious case of a baked potato. Maybe too baked? I'm Adam Macias, and this is Fake News. Welcome to Fake News. I'm Adam Macias. We have an amazing show for you this week. We're going to talk to a conspiracy recovery expert, and later on, we're going to hear from a private investigator solving a very interesting case. First, in this week's top news, Joseph Robin Hood and his merry man of inclusivity, Biden, was sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. His inauguration certainly made headlines. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders created a viral sensation this week after a photo of him at Wednesday's inauguration sitting in a folding chair wearing a hand-knit mitten was posted online. A New York man created a website where you can insert Sanders into any photo from Google Earth. The site crashed shortly after every Bernie bro used it to put Sanders at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It looks good. Still cold though. Airbnb canceled all reservations ahead of Biden's inauguration. Craigslist still allowed for reservations as long as you were willing to walk around barefoot. Ooh, that mustache. Senator Rand Paul said he felt personally attacked when Biden pledged to fight white supremacy in his inaugural address. Rand added, "Fighting white supremacy would lead to destroying everything this country was founded on." He's not wrong. The inauguration had some unforgettable performances by Lady Gaga, J-Lo, Garth Brooks, or Chris Gaines, depending on who you're looking at. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, several performances were cut from the broadcast. Fake News has some highlights for those unaired performances. Let's go ahead and take a look.
And now, all your ballots will disappear. I'm no Lin-Manuel Miranda, but I'm writing a Broadway musical about my favorite president. See if you can tell who it is.
Jimmy Carter, he's a self-starter, peanut farmer, what a charmer. In the Navy, I was raving.
The trumpet! Mambo number 5.
After the insurrection, I knew everything I needed to know about Joe Biden. He said, "That's not who America is. That's not who we are. That's not who I am. Oh my God, who am I? Somebody please help me." Jill gets it.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
All right, everybody, you heard him. Just do it. Let's go ahead and transition to right after the inauguration. Joe Biden issued a whopping 17 executive orders as one of his first acts as president. Right after hitting up the ice cream truck, of course, he goes something like, "I like my ice cream like I like my presidents, vanilla, and left out in the sun too long." But anyways, we had Fake News. We have a list of all 17 executive orders. So let's go ahead and take a look of Biden's 17 executive orders. Number 1, Shoulder rubs are no longer considered inappropriate in any setting. Number 2, bedtime is now after Jeopardy. Number 3, aviators are mandatory for all White House personnel. Everyone gets a hug. That's good. I like that one. 5, doctors have to go by medical doctor now, so no one thinks it's weird that Jill goes by Dr. Jill. He who smelt it, dealt it. Those are the rules. He's president now. That's true. Number 7, you have to eat all your vegetables or else you can't have any ice cream. Just kidding. You can always have ice cream in the Biden White House. Number 8, effective immediately, the U.S. Capitol is moving to Scranton, Pennsylvania. Oh, maybe they'll go to Peacock next. Number 9, Hunter Biden is no longer allowed to own a laptop. Probably for the best. Number 10, close talking is cool now. Number 11, the fist pound is now the new handshake. Number 12, Barack Obama is legally required to act as president. That doesn't seem like that makes sense. Number 13, the position of COVID-19 response coordinator, as well as the position of post-COVID hug coordinator, must be created effective immediately. He's got to give everybody a hug. That's a big job. Number 14, a 100-day mask mandate followed by a 100-day lap mandate, where everyone sits on Biden's lap and whispers, and where he whispers that he's proud of you. That's nice. Number 15, Mar-a-Lago is officially a foreign entity. Number 16, a pardon for Bobby Shmurda. And finally, number 16, once a month there will be a sleepover with all the former presidents. No Trumps allowed. Now let's turn to the transition. President Joe Biden told his new White House staff members at the swearing in that if he catches any of them treating anyone with disrespect, he would fire them on the spot. But don't worry, he added, if you all play nice with each other every Sunday afternoon, Uncle Joe will take you out for ice cream. The man loves his ice cream, guys. He loves it. Dr. Fauci, the federal government's top infectious disease expert, was welcomed back to the White House press briefing this week after being largely sidelined during the Trump administration. When asked how it felt to be able to speak more freely, Dr. Fauci said it was liberating before ripping off his shirt and dancing out of the room while belting Nina Simone's "Feeling Good." Oh, wow. Well, more chest hair than I thought he would have. After 4 years, there are dogs in the White House again, as the Bidens bring their 2 rescue German Shepherds, Major and Champ, with them to the White House. When asked why he didn't have a dog, former President Trump said, "I have an Eric." Sounds like not much of a pet. All right, President Biden had his first fact check of his presidency just 2 days after taking office. He falsely claimed journalists had all said his vaccination goal was impossible to meet, when in fact journalists had actually said, "Who cares?" And it's honestly just nice hearing full sentences again. Am I right? Okay. Let's back to the headlines. All right. President Biden has removed the button to order Diet Coke from the Oval Office and replaced it with a life alert. Well, speaking of removing Diet Coke, this week our show is sponsored by Pepsi, who has a brand new marketing campaign. Let's go ahead and take a look.
America's nervous system was almost consumed by fascism, a high fructose sugary toxin coursing through the veins of our nation, poisoning our culture.
Hey, that's okay. Well, let's go back.
America's nervous system was almost consumed by fascism, a high fructose sugary toxin coursing through the veins of our nation, poisoning our culture, a nauseous libation coaxing the evils of white supremacy, a violent liquid heroin not just corrosive to tooth enamel and pancreases, but to the very fabric of our democracy itself. No, not the madman with his finger on the button, but Coca-Cola, the carbonated manifestation of fascism. But fear not, because it's all good in the hood. Coca-Cola drove America to the precipice of doom, but our consumers said, "Boy, bye," and exiled Coca-Cola to Florida, where fascists belong. Democracy has prevailed, thanks to Pepsi. No more buttons. No more division. marginally less sodium, and better taste. The same Pepsi that put racial injustice on skates is here to quench the thirst of our new presidential administration. The White House is now fueled by Pepsi. No diggity, no doubt. It's lit. Occur? Democracy. That's what I like. Pepsi claims no liability for any increased risk of cavities, heart disease, or type 2 diabetes. Stay woke, my nigga.
All right. I also heard that Burger King is now our current sponsor instead of McDonald's. All right, let's go ahead and turn to the Senate, who is still dealing with the repercussions of the insurrection 2 weeks ago. A small number of Senate Democrats have requested an ethics probe into Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Haley over the Capitol riot and their involvement in it, because everyone knows the best way to hold people accountable for violence is a strongly worded letter. They tried to kill you guys. All right. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is expected to send the article of impeachment for former President Trump to the Senate on Monday. Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has asked to delay that start of the trial until mid-February to give Trump time to recruit a legal team, and definitely not because that's how long it takes to Amazon to ship Kevlar to a house. McConnell added, by the way, does anyone have 800 number for a batshit lawyer looking to take care of an indefensible case for a deranged wannabe or oligarch? Anyone? 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 All right. Yeah, well, that would be that batshit guy, but he doesn't have a license anymore. Okay. Speaking of batshit, Jenna Ryan, the woman who took a private jet to the storming of the Capitol on January 6th, asked her Twitter followers to donate to her legal defense fund, but PayPal shut it down. Her account after discovering the money was not actually going to her legal defense. Rather, she was trying to buy the libs. She took own the libs way too literally. Oh, buy them. Like, oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Insane Clown Posse took offense to an article comparing them to Trump supporters. In the journalist's defense, they do have a lot in common. They are loyal to their leaders. They have a diet consisting mostly of soda, Coca-Cola in this case, and no one understands how magnet works. I don't know. They're miracles, guys. They're miracles. Several women on the dating app Bumble have used the app to turn men who took part in the insurrection over to the FBI. The women who received pictures of men at the riots, this is the first time a woman receiving an unsolicited dick pic has had any legal recourse. Oh, he's a dick. That guy is a dick. Parler is circumventing United States law by using Russian servers to house their data, because nothing says you're a patriot more than using a foreign company to talk about overthrowing your own government. Okay. After the insurrection, a lot of Trump supporters who also subscribed to the QAnon conspiracy theory were still holding on hope that somehow Trump would still remain in power. Now, 3 days after the inauguration, some of them are just now dealing with the harsh reality that day might not come true. To help those QAnon followers cope with the reality that the storm has basically amounted to light spritzing, recovery expert Darlene Chaffee has developed a new 12-step program, QAnon Anon. Darlene, thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, I thank you so much for having me, Adam.
Of course, yes. I would hold on one second here. I'm having trouble looking at you right now. Sorry, 1 second. It's a bunch of tech stuff here. Yes, thank you so much for being on the show, Darlene. So tell us about this recovery program you've developed to help QAnon followers.
Yes, well, it's called QAnon Anon, and it's a support group for individuals who are ready to reckon with the fact that QAnon weren't nothing but a crackpot on the internet telling a bunch of lies to rile up bored white folks on the internet. And I understand that this is a very difficult time for these individuals, with the Great Awakening turning out to be more like the big snooze. And I want to be a source of comfort, hope, and sanity. At QAnon Anon, we get it. We'll all go a little crazy sometimes, fall down a rabbit hole, and start thinking it's perfectly logical that the world is run by a bunch of Satan-worshiping, blood-drinking, pedophile lizard people in human suits. It's okay. You can come out the other side.
Oh, and I believe you have a firsthand experience in believing in an outlandish conspiracy theory?
Yes, sir, it is true. I was fully committed to the idea that the world was going to end on December 12th, 2012. You remember that one? You remember when everybody was saying that that's when the world was going to end? Well,
Yeah, I remember the movie too.
Yes, yeah, they made a whole movie about it. I mean, come on, and I watched a documentary on the History Channel, which I always trusted because they aired my favorite news program, Ancient Aliens. So I believed that the Earth was going to be pulled into a supermassive black hole and all human life was going to be blinked right out of existence. And I went and I laid down in the woods because, I wanted to be somewhere pretty and peaceful when I was sucked into oblivion. And then I waited and waited and waited. And the only thing that happened was that a squirrel found me and pooped on my chest.
Mm. And how did that make you feel?
Well, I was a little offended, I mean, I'm not one to kink shame anyone, but that's just not my thing. Oh, you mean about the world not ending?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I felt right foolish. I did. There I am in the woods, freezing my tits off, covered in squirrel shit on a Wednesday afternoon, which is why I thought I would be a good person to help these QAnon folks sort out all their feelings now. I know. I've been there. Let me help you wash off your squirrel shit.
Well, that's a beautiful metaphor. So how does QAnon Anon, how does that program work?
Well, like any good recovery program, we've got some steps, 12 of them, actually, and I think we have a graphic with them.
Yeah, let me go ahead and put that up. Here we go.
All right. Yeah, so there we go. So, I developed this program, and the first step is just, we admit that we are powerless against baseless online conspiracy theories, that our lives have become unmanageable and frankly concerning to our friends and loved ones. Step number 2, we believe that a power greater than ourselves, fact-checking, can restore us to sanity. Step 3, we make a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of verifiable news sources. Step number 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves to understand how we ended up falling for this nonsense in the first place. Step 5, we admit to God, to ourselves, and to other human beings, we got duped. It happens. It's all right. No judgment. Step number 6, we are entirely ready to leave the world of paranoia and conspiracy and rejoin the world of fact and truth. Step number 7, we humbly ask a loved one to remove Parler from our electronic devices. Step number 8, we make a list of all the persons who unfriended us on Facebook and are willing to make amends with them all.
Is it possible for me just to chime in real quick?
Of course, yes, I'm sorry.
So this sounds a lot like the 12 steps of like Al-Anon or
yes,
AA.
We are modeled after that. Those are tried and true methods that have worked for people. And, this is a little bit like an addiction, it really is. So we did model ourselves after the Alcoholics Anonymous.
Well, it just seems like maybe you swapped some certain key phrases, and but I guess if it works, it works, correct?
Well, if it works, it works, and I just don't go telling nobody from AA that we did this because they might they might get a little litigation happy,
Oh, is it trademarked? It's trademarked. So this is like it's trademarked to do the 12 steps.
It's under it's underground, but but it works. And if people out there are willing to put in the work and want to give up their life of dependence on QAnon and all these conspiracy theories, we're here to help. We're here to help.
All right, I don't mean to cut in. You can finish your steps there.
Oh, no worries. That's fine. Where was that? Okay. Step number 9, we make direct amends to everyone on the internet with whom we argued, or at least like a New York Times article that they post. Step number 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we feel the need to visit Reddit, we do something constructive instead. Step number 11, we see. Yes,
I'm
you
just,
have
I'm just,
you have a question,
yeah.
Adam?
Well, I'm just saying it sounds like the diction is it's mostly based off of going to the internet and maybe it seems like it's mostly related to technological like social media. I'm
Well,
wondering if there's just a step to go ahead and just unsubscribe to any of that. Is that somewhere in the
oh
list?
yes. Step number 7. You can remove Parler from your electronic devices. I mean anything else really. And look, this is different for every individual, right? Like this addiction, whatever you want to call it, like it's very personal. And we do another part of our program is that every person who joins our program gets matched with a sponsor. Also much like Alcoholics Anonymous, but our sponsors are people who are former conspiracy theory addicts, right? We got our flat earthers, we got our other doomsday. We even got a few folks, from Jonestown who just didn't like the taste of Kool-Aid.
Oh,
So,
great. Yeah.
we will match you with folks, and they can help you, and they can provide you with the personalized support that you need.
Yeah, it makes sense though. You like it's built in the step there, like like just much like you're allowing a space for relapse because every journey of every person with addiction has it's not when it's not if, it's when. Correct?
Of course,
Yeah.
and it's a big crazy world out there, and and I'll say, for my part, when I thought that the world was going to end on December 12th, 2012, I was going through a real rough patch. My husband had left me, and I was real down. And, I think I got sucked in because I was just kind of ready for the world to end. I
I
I
see.
was just ready to give up. It seemed like a relief to me. But,
Do you
I'm
find
so
a lot
glad
of
that it
QAnon
didn't.
people are ready for the world to end?
I don't know if they're ready for the world to end. Every person found their way to this conspiracy theory on their own. Some of them, it was a way to explain all the crazy things that are happening in the world right now. But what we try to make people who join QAnon Anon understand is that sometimes shit just happens. That's life.
Right.
Sometimes it's not because there's a global cabal of satanic lizard people. Like, it's just shit happens,
Then and that's and if you're not, if, for the viewers out there, if you're not aware, that is also part of the 12 steps of AA. I mean, it's a motto in those circles of shit happens. So,
Yeah,
but in this case with the QAnon, it's that shit happens. It's that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a global cabal of baby eating conspiracy.
exactly.
Right.
And
Where yeah.
present and we give people the tools to understand, to find reasonable explanations for things. We say, like, don't, just like in AA when they tell you, don't go to the bottle, you got to deal with your problems. Well, when things happen in life, like, don't assume that it's because people in Hollywood like to eat babies. Like, maybe it's because of science. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
exactly.
you need to like go and turn to different sources for your information, and not just some anonymous person on the internet who you don't even know who it is, because that just
But
usually does not end up well.
now, I hate to cut to the chase here, but you are gathering a group of people who like to follow a leader, in a s- in and follow a certain guideline, almost religiously. Do you find yourself falling back into those old conspiracy theory traits there?
No, and I get what you're saying, and Adam, like, look, you seem like a nice guy. I don't want to take offense to what you're saying, but no, let me just say right here, right now, we are 100% not a cult. Okay,
Okay, I didn't say
everyone
that. I didn't say anything about a
say it,
cult.
but
So.
you were alluding, and I'm on to you. I'm on to you, sir.
Okay, now you're sounding like I have some sort of ulterior motive here, and you could see how that almost plays into the kind of conspiracy theory. Anyways, I don't want to. I don't want to. You know what? That's not what I'm here to do. Why don't we finish up your 12 steps here? We're
Yeah,
almost
let me
at the
just
end
go
here.
through the rest of the
Yeah.
steps here, and
Yeah.
you know I think I was, yes, I was at number 7. Okay, so step number 11, we seek through prayer and meditation to improve our power of critical thinking so that in the future we may recognize the bullshit the internet tries to feed us. And finally, at the end, having had our cerebral awakening as a result of these steps, we carry this message to other QAnon followers and we practice these principles in all our affairs. So, I know that people are feeling a little lost right now. We at QAnon Anon, our website has just been blowing up, I don't mean that literally, even though quite a few people do want to blow something up. We do not want that. We discourage that. But we understand anger, depression, confusion, sadness is all part and parcel of emerging from the cloud of conspiracy theories. But, to anyone out there who's, feeling these feelings right now, I promise you stick with us. You could forget about the storm because it's all going to be rainbows and sunshine over here.
That's great. Wow. So just for the people out there, do you have a regular time and place where you meet?
Well, we're meeting on Zoom, of course, because and you just visit our website, QAnonanon.com, and you can find out when our meetings are and reach out to us, and we hope to see you real soon.
Well, that is great. Have you just quick question? Have you had many people reach out since Wednesday?
Yes, yeah, everything's just blowing up, but in a good way, in the best way possible.
Okay, well, yes, yeah, you want to be careful with that. Well, thank you so much, Darlene, for coming on the show and talking about that.
You take care now.
You too. Well, thank you so much, Darlene Shaffey, for coming on the show. Let's go ahead and go to our next segment here, which is let's go ahead and go to one of our final segments. Let's take a look at the other news happening around the world. Let's go ahead and talk about other news. All right. Let me pull this up. Okay. A GOP county commissioner flashed a gun during a Zoom meeting this week after a resident asked him to denounce the Proud Boys. He later apologized and pled the Tubin defense, saying that, "I'm sorry, I didn't know the camera was on during the meeting. I was just being a gun-toting lunatic on my personal time." Oh, that's Tubin right there. What's going on below that picture? Anyways, NRA donors are preparing to lodge a complaint in U.S. bankruptcy court over the gun group's bankruptcy filing last week. When reached for comment, the NRA say guns don't commit fraud, people commit fraud, which I think is an admission of guilt. Let me think about that. Guns, people. I'll get back to you. All right, let's see. And that's guns don't kill people. Guns kill people. Yeah. In an effort to prevent COVID-19 transmission, the NBA announced a ban on handshakes and hugs between opposing teams. Biden wouldn't like that at the end of games. And oh no, says the COVID germs that are on the ball that the players spent 2.5 hours fighting over. Oh no, I'm scared. I won't have the hugs. Come on. All right, that's the ball they were fighting over. A Michigan marijuana dispensary is giving free weed to anyone who gets a COVID-19 vaccine. Not to be outdone, my meth dealer is offering free teeth, not for the vaccine, just in general. Surgeons say post-COVID lungs look worse than any type of terrible smoker lung ever seen. All right, yelled the Marlboro man as he high-fived Joe Camel. Oh, that's some fancy Photoshop right there. Oklahoma State Representative Justin Humphrey proposed a bill to establish a formal Bigfoot hunting season in the state. The measure failed because Biden is president now, and we don't have to worry about that conspiracy shit, baby. Yeah, looking at you. I need my aviators. Somebody hand me my aviators. Animal Crossing landlord Tom Nook was voted the best video game villain of 2020, proving once again that the only true evil on Earth is capitalism. Oh, so sad. He's working for a living. Many Canadian grocery stores received a shipment of bananas stuffed with cocaine due to a drug trafficking mix-up this week. When reached for comment, one grocer said, "Yo, dude, that was one of the best fucking bananas I've ever had. You want to start a band? Should we start a band? I think we should start a band. All right, okay. Well, we can call it Banana Heads." No, that's probably already a band. Oh, yeah. Okay. Germany announced a plan to put repeat COVID quarantine violators in detention centers. And I don't know why this story made all my Jewish friends nervous. I'm going to have to think about that. A group of British teenagers were caught offering mall patrons free hand sanitizers, which was actually super glue, which is just a really great prank. Hold on. Okay. All right. Finally, mysterious baked potatoes have been appearing on the lawn in front of a Wayland library in the Boston area this week. Here to comment is the PI working the case, Mark Diamond. Mark, are you there?
Hey there, Adam. Yeah, thanks for having me. Mark Diamond, PI. Stoked to be on the show talking about what I do.
Of course, yes. Thank you for coming on. So I see that your name says potato investigator. Is that
PI, potato investigator. Anytime there's somebody who says, "Hey, we got a problem with the potatoes," then I get on there. I figure it out.
Is that often? Wait.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of potato-related crimes in Boston these days. You know, we got potato crimes.
Are any crimes rated potato by any chance?
We got some potato ratings on our crimes too. There's this Twitter account called @BexGoos, BexGoos, that does a lot of different potato ratings. This is a real thing. Check that out. And Bex has rated our city as five tater tots out of 5 tater tots for most potato crimes in the country.
Wow,
we do a lot of potato crimes, okay. So you know.
Well, okay, so tell us about this crime. All investigations are important. I'm sure. Have you heard anything more about it?
Yeah. So on Monday they was telling me, "Hey, Mark, we got this potato showing up on the lawn at the library." And I thought to myself, okay, all right, somebody's doing a prank like those glue guys. Someone's doing a prank. They just dropping a potato at the library, telling people,
Which was very funny. It was a very funny
prank. He's a very good prank on the level with the glue hands thing. Which I'm so glad you got your hands apart, by the way.
I did.
But then, I'm thinking to myself, okay, 1 potato, fine. 2 potato, that's a problem. 3 potato, 4, now we're getting into trouble. And I'll tell you what, on Wednesday, another potato showed up. Then on Thursday, another potato showed up. And today, that made 4. They got 4 potatoes showing up on this lawn. Now we know it's not a coincidence. Somebody is setting up a caper.
It's a caper. Like somebody's trying to steal something?
Mm-hmm. They're trying to distract us on the lawn, say, hey, there's a lot of potatoes out there on the lawn, so you don't have to worry about what's going on inside the library. But I tell you right now, I'm expecting tomorrow we either see another potato show up on the lawn, or tomorrow's the day they do the crime. I don't know what day it's going to be, but I do know once the potatoes stop, there's going to be some books missing inside the library.
Now, two follow-ups. Are there any important books or memorabilia of any kind at the Wayland Free Library?
Yeah, not a lot of people know this, but the Wayland Free Library is the home to the original copy of Monica Lewinsky's tell-all novel about the not novel, the book she wrote. What you call a book that's not a novel?
An autobiography?
Yeah, tell-all autobiography. So the tell-all autobiography, that's actually located at the Wayland Free Library, the first official copy. So it is worth a lot of money, So okay. we gotta guard it. But that's not my job. I'm not a book investigator. I'm not a BI.
I'm just I have not met a BI, but we're just putting stuff together here. As I recall, a lot of people are talking about President Clinton these days because Biden is using the President Clinton decor of the Oval Office. But I am remembering the man does love a good baked potato. He's from Arkansas. Now
that's my president right there.
Well, that's why. Why is he your president?
Oh, so many reasons. Number 1, like potatoes. Number 2.
I see. Okay, well, that makes sense. He's a potato fan, of course.
Yeah.
Trump loved French fries. How's that make you
know,
feel?
the French. Look, there's some French fry crimes around there. Mostly just located at Wendy's because those fries are a crime. Why are you selling fries if they taste like shit? You know. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. Does that even count as a potato crime if you're just selling bad fries? I don't think so.
I don't know. You tell me. I literally just discovered that this was a thing just now. So you are the expert.
Yeah. The potato crimes in my purview, there's the crimes where somebody is using a potato as a distraction, trying to steal a fancy book or painting. You know, the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, that's not the real Mona Lisa because somebody dropped a bunch of pommes frites or whatever the French call them out on the Louvre steps, and people kept going out there to clean up. And eventually the security guards started looking into it like, hey, how come there's always pommes frites on the steps? What's going on? And then one day when they went out to check, they go back in, Mona Lisa's gone. So they replaced it with a fake.
Are you saying the Mona Lisa was stolen because somebody put a bunch of French fries on the steps of the Louvre?
Mm-hmm. One of the most, pommes frites, they're the French. One of the most famous potato crimes out there.
I call them freedom fries, by the way. I don't know. That's why I like to call them.
Yeah, hey, not that Bush, not my president, but I like America too.
Good. I'm glad. But have you thought that maybe President Clinton is the one trying to steal the Marco Lewinsky book?
At any point, I never considered that, not for 1 second. But there are some signs that it could be true now that you're saying it, because
there's have you found any missing saxophones next to these potatoes?
The Wayland Free Library is right next to the Wayland Free Jazz Library, and at the Jazz Library, they're missing a bunch of saxophones. I never even thought about that.
There you go. That's maybe I should be maybe I should.
But now I'm finding out he might be a potato thief. I mean, this is throwing everything I ever known into question. But hold on. Hold on. It's not necessarily true that this is him just because there was also mixing saxophones. Lots of people like saxophones.
And potatoes. Correct.
And potatoes.
Yeah.
Now, of course,
Coltrane.
Been a lot of Hillary.
John Coltrane was a very big John Coltrane was a huge potato fan as well. So that there's correlations there.
Everybody knows that. He invented the Kansas City fries, which is a brand of fries you can only find in Kansas City, where he played a lot of jazz. And a Kansas City fry. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I'm not sure any of that is true, but let's talk about what else.
One thing in there is true.
The Kansas City fried fire. That. But let me ask you this: have you found any maybe anything else in front of the Wayland Library, which you are standing in front of right now? Maybe you just look around.
Looking around, I'm seeing plenty of stuff. There's plenty of stuff out here. But one thing.
Why is there so much stuff at the Wayland Library?
A lot of people, this is the thing, they see all the potatoes on the lawn, they think, oh, that's not a library, that's a dump. It's a big time prank. It's a big time prank if it's that, but if it ends up being a theft, then it's a big time crime. So either way,
saying that there's an addition to baked potatoes, are these, which I'm assuming have been eaten a little bit.
Well,
also additional trash in front of the library.
There is additional trash outside the library now, because people do see the baked potatoes, think, oh, that's a dump. So there's people just putting that trash out on the lawn here at the Wayland Library. I'm like, hey, you guys, what the heck?
Well, it's kind of seems like a chicken or the egg thing. Does the potatoes come first, or did the trash come first, followed by the potatoes? And what I'm surmising, maybe that Wayland Free Library is kind of a dump.
Well, no, let me disavow that notion right away, okay? Because the Wayland Free Library on Monday, they put a picture out on their Twitter showing their lawn very clean, one little baked potato on there, and they said, hey, what's up with this? And then the next day, they put a picture up with the one little baked potato, two little baked potato, and they said, hey, what's up with this? And then the next day, they put a picture up with the one little baked potato, two little baked potato, three. Hey, what's up with this? And then it was one little potato, two baked potato.
I think I can kind of see the.
That's when we started to see all the trash on the ground.
Okay, so the trash. Okay, so potato was before, but
egg in this
are they tweeting this out? Where are they sending this out?
Yeah, they really have been tweeting about this quite a bit, in fact.
Right. I would imagine so.
That's actually how I got turned on to the case, because you may be surprised to hear this, but not a lot of people think to call the potato investigator. I have to look for potato crimes to get myself involved with.
Yeah, I mean,
that guy's accent's not Boston. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from elsewhere.
Where are you from?
You know, Northeast generally.
Northeast, general Northeast. Okay,
yeah, like New Yorkish, but like I'm not quite doing a New York accent.
Right, I see what you're saying. I see. Well, but quick question though. Now, you
last question.
What's that? You got to. This is the last question. Is that what you have to get? You have to get back on the case. Is that what you're saying?
I do have to get back to the case. Yeah, but I'm curious what your question was.
Well, so in the yellow pages. Potato is before private.
True.
Now, are people ever calling you for a private investigator thinking it's in a typo?
That has happened on occasion. Although I don't know that it's a yellow pages related thing, because people looking for private investigator probably going to go to the PR section. People looking for potato investigator would go to the PO. I get calls about coming out to farms and taking a look to make sure the potatoes are fine. I'm like, I'm not a potato doctor. I'm a potato investigator.
Do you know any potato doctors?
Of course I do. You work in the potato investigating field for long enough, you're going to meet potato doctors, potato coroners, potato police. Those are just like, those are bastards, obviously. Because all cops are bastards. But
potato public accountants,
potato PAs. Yeah, we call them PPAs.
PCPCA, PCPAs.
Yeah, yeah, this PCPA. That's the potato commissioner of the Potato Association is the PCPA.
PCPA. Well, that all sounds crazy, and it sounds like you have a very crazy life. But I do want to, before we leave, is there anything you could say, before we wrap up, is there anything you can say to let the people know who are visiting the Wayland Free Library, as well as the city of Boston, that you are close to catching the perpetrator?
Well, let me just say this. My investigation is honed in on a suspect. It may be the case that Bill Clinton is, in fact, doing these potato crimes. Now that I'm thinking about it, when the Louvre was robbed, that was when Clinton was on a diplomatic mission to France. And that's the most famous potato crime. He probably was in the area. And then, of course, the second most potato crime is 9/11. And nobody knows where Clinton was that day, so it's possible that Clinton was involved in all this.
Gosh, where was he? Jeez. So are you here to say that Bill Clinton is a CCB? Wait, hold on. Did I get this right?
Well, it depends on what that stands for, because I'll say yes, definitely Bill Clinton is a CCB, but which meaning did you think?
A Chris Cut burglar? A Chris Cut burglar?
Yeah, I mean, he might be that, but he's also definitely
a PCB.
What?
A PCB? A potato cat burglar?
Yeah, for sure, he's a potato cat burglar. But there's another CCB he also is, which is no, I don't got one. Damn.
yeah, you made us go back to it. You gotta say one now.
I have one, but it didn't come. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure I know what to say to this. And then you're like, I'm going to make sure that I circle back to it and really dwell on it. And then you don't find it.
I think actually I think maybe I heard that he was a CBGB. Do you have one for that?
CBGB, yeah. He's definitely a cornbread Goomba boy.
Okay, very good, very good. So you're closing in on the case. You're closing in on the case. Oh, God, I got hold on. Okay, I think it's about time to go. I barely have hands to control the show.
Let me just say this. Look, if you come into the Wayland Library, don't put your trash on the lawn. I'm trying to investigate these potatoes.
Of course.
But if you know anything about potatoes showing up in any lawns anywhere, you give me a call. Mark Diamond, potato investigator.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for coming on the show, and stay safe out there. And I hope he doesn't get fried. All right. I'm Adam Macias. This has been Fake News. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to thank all the fancy people on the show. Darlene Chafe, aka ooh, I don't know my teammates' last names. This was a mistake. I'll just go with Ezra Parter, Paul Herrera. Please, I hope I got that
I'm
right.
a potato investigator. I can help you out with this. These folks have all
Kristen Scranton,
Scranton, Paul Herrera.
Kristen Scranton, not Scranton, because that's where the Joe Biden is from. Paul Herrera.
Come on.
And then we have Kristen, and then we have Evan Word was submitted a lovely commercial, and I just want to give a shout out to Ezra Parter for no particular reason. I'm Adam Macias. Okay, I'm Adam Macias. You can follow us every week. We're on Fridays at 7 p.m. And you can follow us on Instagram at fakenews_comedy. This has been 100% completely fake news. Thank you.